So today, we're going to dive into one of the most powerful ideas in early childhood education, inclusion. But we're going to look past just the policies and the practices to really get to the heart of what it all means. Okay, let's jump right in.
I want to kick things off with a question, something that I think connects every single one of us, no matter our age, our abilities, or where we come from. What is that one fundamental thing that every human being really, truly needs?
That's it. It's so simple, but it's everything, isn't it? We all want to feel like we're a part of something. A full, unconditional member of our family, our classroom, our community. And that's the core idea we're digging into today.
The disability rights advocate Norman Kunsch just said it perfectly. This quote completely flips the script. Inclusion isn't about trying to make a child normal so they can fit in. No, it's about seeing that every single child has gifts inside them, and our job is to create a world where they can share those gifts. It's about that authentic sense of belonging.
And that brings us to a really crucial point. See, true inclusion is so much more than just having kids together in the same room. The real goal is creating a community where every single child is valued, exactly as they are.
Now, this powerful idea of belonging, it's not just a nice philosophy. It's actually a right, and it's backed up by a really strong legal foundation.
It all really starts with the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, as you'll hear it called. This is the big one, the landmark federal law that guarantees a free, appropriate public education for children with disabilities. It basically establishes their right to be educated in the first place.
And baked right into IDEA is this core principle called the Least Restrictive Environment, or LRE. All that means is that a child should be with their peers who don't have disabilities as much as is humanly possible. The goal is integration and access, not segregation. And for the little ones, for infants and toddlers, the law calls this their natural environment. The places they'd be anyway, like at home or in a childcare center.
So to make all this happen, individualized plans are created. For kids under 3, it's called an IFSP, and for kids 3 and older, it's an IEP. Think of these as roadmaps, filled with goals and strategies. And early childhood educators, they are often a totally crucial part of the team that puts these plans together.
Okay, so we've got the philosophy and we've got the legal stuff down, but what does this actually look like day to day? In a real classroom. How do we take these big ideas and put them into practice?
All right, this might be the single most important shift in mindset you can make. You have to see the child, not their diagnosis. A label like autism, for instance, can mean 1,000 different things. What really matters is taking the time to understand each child's unique needs, their strengths, and what makes them curious.
And even the words we use can be a really powerful tool. Using person-first language is absolutely critical. We say a child with autism, not an autistic child. It seems like a small change, but it's profound. It puts the person first and the disability second, which promotes so much more dignity and respect.
At the end of the day, successful inclusion is about so much more than just fulfilling a legal requirement. It really comes from a genuine, can-do attitude, that energy and enthusiasm to see challenges as opportunities, and the core belief that you can make it work for every single child.
So when we're adapting activities, we can ask ourselves a few really powerful questions. Are we putting the child in control? Are we giving them choices? You see, when we start to focus on things like building self-confidence and making discoveries, we shift the goal from just finishing a task to actually empowering the child in their own learning journey.
Now, it has to be said, making all of this happen is not a one-person job. Not even close. It takes a dedicated and collaborative team effort.
This is so important. No single teacher or parent or specialist can create a truly inclusive environment all by themselves. It's the partnership between all of them that makes the magic happen.
An effective collaboration is really built on a few key things, but the most important one is right there at the top. Respecting the family as the first and best resource. They are the experts on their child, period. When you combine their knowledge with clear communication and get everyone actively involved, you create a support system that is just incredibly powerful.
So we've talked about the what and the how, but let's end with what I think is the most inspiring part, the why. Because the incredible thing about inclusion is that it doesn't just benefit one group of kids, it benefits every single person.
I mean, for children with disabilities, the benefit is clear, right? They get to learn and grow in the same settings as their friends, developing skills in a real-world context, and building relationships in a totally natural way.
But for their typically developing peers, the lessons are just as profound. They learn about empathy, about friendship,
and about the beautiful diversity of the human experience. And these aren't lessons you can teach from a book. They're learned through shared play and just genuine connection.
And think about the families. For families of children with special needs, who so often face these immense challenges just trying to find care and acceptance, an inclusive environment is a lifeline. It sends them a message. You belong here. Your child belongs here. We value you.
And then, when you zoom all the way out, you see that effect ripple through the entire community. Inclusive practices build a society that is fundamentally more welcoming, more understanding, and more compassionate for everyone. It just makes us all better.
So we end up right back where we began, with this idea of belonging. The principles we've talked about today, they aren't just for educators, they're for all of us. So the final question is really for you. How can you, in your own life, help build a more authentic sense of belonging for everyone in your community?